Let me just come out and say it because it needs to be said that women over 40 should not be dating at all. I don't know what these old gremlin XXs think, but the dating marketplace wasn't made to house leftover 304s. I'm tired of hearing the demanding attitudes of these XXs who have been past their prime a decade ago come with their ridiculous standards and entitlement as if anyone wants to commit or walk them down the aisle. It's beyond me, but these people think someone will choose them over all the other available women on these dating apps and commit to them when they're long past their expiry date. It's just a clown show at this particular point when I see these women's bios saying, "I've had my fun, now I'm looking for something serious, like what the F?" I think women over 40 should be sucking their husband's Johnson, taking it up the back door and riding his salami until he falls asleep since the kid should be out of the house by then. But no, instead, I see their leftover butt on Tinder talking about "I want to be spoiled." God send the asteroid. Brothers, I hope none of you watching this video right now are wifing up any women over 40. That's a violation of the Gents code because we do not endorse saving leftover 304s from dying alone over here. And we have to be honest with ourselves. What value is there for men who choose to date a woman over 40? I just can't see the value when she's that old and still can't keep a man after decades on this planet. At best, the only good purpose a woman like that serves would be to let men practice busting nuts on them if I'm being honest with you. They can't get pregnant easily. They have been riding the carousel for decades, so their mileage is probably very high, and the fact that nobody has stayed with them long term and they have to resort to dating apps is a huge red flag. So I want you guys to really think long and hard if women over 40 are worth dating because it's a reason why she's single and has to resort to dating apps in the first place. With that said, I know that not all women at that age are undateable or unmarriageable, so I have to be fair. Some of these women's husbands probably died, which is the only reason she's on a dating app looking for a long-term partner. However, if she's on there for any other reason, I would say that's a danger zone, and you should not proceed regardless of what she says she has to offer or how much of a good woman she is. I want you to think long and hard. Why is a woman over 40 single? Think about it, gents. They had everything they needed in their late teens to late 20s to attract the best man they possibly could, and you're telling me that out of all the men who showed interest, none of them was good enough for her to pick one to be her husband? Come on, gents, that is why it's a huge red flag, because it shows you that she either subscribed to the womanist agenda, which is a big no-no in this community, she had her priorities out of order, or she was just wasting time living her best life on the rooster rotation with the top-tier guys thinking she could just cash in and get a man to walk her down the aisle when she was done having her fun. And if that's the case, then she's automatically disqualified in my book. Always look at the root cause of why a woman who is on her last ropes is still single and trying to get you to commit. The devil is in the details, as the saying goes, and most women in this age group that still don't have a man after so long are desperate, and desperate people are very dangerous. A woman over 40 that finds herself single probably made a series of bad decisions that led her up to that point, and she's looking for someone to save her from the wreck she made of her life so that she doesn't die alone. Trust me, there's no reason that a woman that old who didn't lose their husband should be on the dating marketplace. Back then, before the incentivization of women to blow up the family and the sexual revolution, there was never so many single older women running around here looking for a man to commit. It was never a thing, which shows that these modern women are single due to sabotaging their lives and their families' lives for selfish reasons or the love of money. And for the women defenders out there watching this video in the spirit of hate and saying they probably had an abusive husband or boyfriend, so that's why she had to leave and start looking for a new man. Yes, that is true, and I do not endorse or agree with men beating on women because you are playing with fire, my friend. A woman could easily delete you in your sleep if you're dumb enough to beat her, so I don't support any of that. If you ever reach the point where you have to resort to doing that, then end the relationship and come off the marketplace for a couple of years. That's my best advice. However, women are typically the instigators of fights that lead to them being whipped in the ropes and given the choke slam, so I don't want to hear it. And most men do not hit women, so don't act like all women are innocent in every DV incident. Sometimes you guys poke the bear too much until he snaps and you get the RKO. So my advice for the ladies is to know when to speak and know when to shut their mouths when dealing with men. Don't instigate fights or put your hand on him, and most of you will never have an incident like that. But again, men, if you feel like you need to do that, then end the relationship, get a divorce, and just leave and focus on yourself. Alright, it's time to give you guys the 3 major reasons why you should not date women over 40, so you can save yourself from misery and turmoil. Tap the like button, and let's try to beat the like goal of 500 likes. This will let me know if I should do a part 2 of this video, so make sure you drop a like if you want to see part 2. So the first reason why you should not date women over 40 is that some of them have been divorced by that age. Gents, a woman that has already successfully pulled off a divorce is not wife or relationship material in any way, shape, or form. What makes you think that if she divorce-raped one or multiple men before, that means she won't do it to you? Come on, brothers. Think with your big head and stop thinking about all the nuts you're gonna bust all up inside a divorcee's wet vice grip. I want you to listen and listen well. Statistics show that in the United States, 50% of first-time marriages, 67% of second marriages, and 74% of third marriages end in divorce. You hope strategists get it now. And remember, women are the culprits filing for divorce the most. It's not men. So I'm telling you not to date women over 40 because they've probably been divorced 1, 2, 3 or more times by the time she's that age. Do you want to be her next victim and get bent over in the family court? If so, go ahead and date a woman over 40 and just wait until she pulls the plug. If not, then don't date them. How hard is that? I have to ask because if you guys don't take the risk, then nothing will happen. In my opinion, dating a divorced XX over 40 is the equivalent of dating a 304 that had an STD in the past. Are you still going to mess with her knowing she had the itchy scratchy, or will you link up with someone who never caught anything? If she filed for divorce once, she's more likely to file for divorce again, and the divorce statistics prove that. That's the first reason why you shouldn't date women over 40. The second reason why you shouldn't date women over 40 is that most of them are single mothers. In the manosphere, there's a reason why we constantly tell you not to date single mothers due to the BS and trap that awaits the man foolish enough to do so. One thing about single mothers that all men must know is at some point in the relationship, they expect you to take care of their kids and become a step dummy. I would never raise another man's seed, so I would never advise another man to do so, and this is why you should not date women over 40. Not only that, but if you take it a step further and walk her down the aisle, you will also be responsible for taking care of her and her kids, which is a huge expense for kids that aren't even yours. You won't be allowed to discipline her kids even though you're the one providing for them, highly likely. You will be disrespected by her kids because you are not their daddy, and you risk being placed on child support, especially if you adopted them or the marriage ended in divorce. Gentlemen, are you willing to take that risk for kids that aren't even yours? Let's say that you face none of those issues and the relationship is going fantastic. Well, there is one more issue that you may or may not have to deal with, and that's managing her teenage son and daughter. This is something that happens a lot in our society, and we choose to ignore it or sweep it under the rug. This is usually the trauma of merging two different families, dealing with a young teenage stepdaughter who wants to give the stepdad some stank and dealing with a stepson who is a part of the wrong company or a gang. Do I even need to elaborate on the BS that comes with that? I won't go there because of you two, but a lot of abuse happens in families like that. So again, I'm warning you, do not date women over 40 on dating apps. If you don't want to end up in prison or get clapped, stay away from older women with kids, especially teenage kids. Just stay away from older women, period, and you'll be good. Prevention is always better than cure. Now, will it happen to every man that goes this route? No, but ask yourself if it's worth the risk because to me, it's not. The third reason why you should not date women over 40 on dating apps is that she's probably married and looking to cheat, trying to monkey branch, or she's single
in these streets.
It doesn't matter what way you put it, it's a huge red flag for an older woman over 40 to be looking for men or salami on dating apps, and there's no debating this besides a deceased spouse. If she was riding salami for 2+ decades and nobody wifed her up, then she's not relationship material. If she's on a dating app looking to level up on her current boyfriend or husband in monkey branch,
she belongs to the streets.
And if she has a husband and he didn't give her permission to give that wet vice grip to strangers, then she's a despicable human being who will put your life at risk over some dried out peace sleeve. No matter how you put it, none of those works in your favor, and you're more likely to catch an itchy scratchy before you get any good outcome from dating women like this. And one thing I have to say to you guys is to make sure we are on the same page. It is dumb to sleep with another man's wife and risk getting your TV turned off permanently over an old 304. There is no way that you can justify risking your life over some peace sleeve when there are so many single young women out here. You never know what the husband will do to you if he finds out you're sleeping with his wife, so my advice is to never sleep with a married woman. Not only the fact that you're risking your life, but it's just a scummy thing to do to another man when you know how men suffer in marriages and divorce. I can't respect men who sleep with another man's wife because that man is paying to house and feed her just for her to give you what he should be getting for free. I just can't respect that because you are contributing to destroying that man's family and entire life because you couldn't resist easy peace leave. And let's say that you hit it and nothing happens and her husband never finds out. How long before you mess with the wrong wife and her husband pages you with the AK-47? It's not worth it, gents, so leave those women alone. One more thing that you should be aware of is those women I stated earlier probably have body counts in the double to triple digits. They probably terminated multiple kids, caught the itchy-scratchy, had a mental illness, did drugs and alcohol, had sugar daddies, sold peace leave, and did some things in the bedroom that, if you found out, would make you sick. So keep that in mind the next time you hop on a dating app and see a woman over 40 who has had her fun and is looking to settle down. Tap the subscribe button to subscribe to the channel if you're new and help us to get to 27,000 subscribers. Then tap the bell and tap all so you never miss any of our videos. And if you want to watch last month's season 9 videos of some dark RP content, then click the playlist on the screen right now to see how deep the rabbit hole goes.